Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who is finally starting to understand the feelings that they have towards another person, whether or not they're falling in love, whether or not they want something long term. This sun is about, finally getting the picture or feeling enlightened, no longer having question marks. So it feels like somebody who does think they're falling in love and they can't really talk themselves out of it, but we'll find out more. Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying some nice weather. If you have not noticed already, this is a slightly different format, so I won't be able to greet you all as you come into the live chat. I'm going to post this as a live premiere, and hopefully I'll be able to join you in the chat. But otherwise, if you're interested in a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. So let's dive in and get some more information. This is the Fairy Lenormand. What else do we have? Number 7, the Snake. And number 9, the Bouquet. So the bouquet can talk about beauty, and it looks to me like we've got somebody that has lied to themselves and tried to say, oh, I think I'm just really attracted to you, but it's just a physical attraction. It's not like a serious spiritual connection. There's no way I'm actually falling in love. So they were trying to kind of minimize it, or make it seem like it was a little bit more superficial and not them, daydreaming about what a life together with you would look like, or whether or not you're falling in love too. We've got the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, with the 6 of Cups in the reverse. This is somebody who didn't want to fall in love with you. It's kind of giving like Bridget Jones' Diary, Colin Firth's character, who initially didn't really like Bridget Jones' character, right? I can't remember their name, sorry. Well, obviously Bridget Jones is Renee Zellweger, so that's the character's name, but I don't remember Colin Firth's character. So here's the thing. I wasn't looking for a relationship. I didn't want to have serious feelings or daydream or fantasize about a life with somebody. This snuck up on me. So this is a new connection, somebody that you have not known for a very long time, somebody who you have had some really good memories created with. But I think both of you would feel a little bit surprised if they were to be completely honest about how they feel. So there's this pressure to kind of be secretive about it and wait for the right moment, because they feel like they could squander their opportunity, or it may look like they are love bombing or trying to manipulate you. So they're very conscientious of pacing. I don't want to make you feel like I'm lying or playing some game. And it also takes a little while for them to admit to themselves that they've got feelings. All right, what else do we have? 9 of Cups, 4 of Swords in the reverse, and the 4 of Cups in the reverse. They have been a pretty independent person, very focused on the achievements they want. Maybe they want to publish a book. Maybe they want to be owner of their own company. But this is somebody who has decided, or kind of gotten a little bit distracted, because they're feeling lonesome, because they do want to have more of your energy, more of your time. They can't seem to distance themselves or reject you the way maybe they would if there were other people that kind of got in the way of their projects or their schedule. They feel like they can't say anything, though. Again, with this 8 of Swords, it's like, I don't think we're there yet. This is somebody who is waiting to see, do you feel the same? Are you just kind of I don't know, having a good time? Or are you starting to get those stars in your eyes as well? This is the Romance Angel Oracle. What else do we have? We have pay attention to the red flags. And you deserve love. So there is definitely a spark here. There's a sense of chemistry. It's more than just this physical attraction. But if there is a hesitation that, you know, goes on a little bit too long, or a straight up resistance to identifying and communicating these emotions, I do feel like the window of opportunity will eventually be shut, right? So this is somebody's thought process, right? I need to wait for the right moment. I don't want to make this person feel like I'm being emotionally insensitive or manipulative. But if I take too long, then they're going to feel like I'm not actually capable of connecting to them on that level. There are some concerns here because of religion. You may have differing beliefs, or there could be something about this pacing or timing that is respective of a religious, you know, I don't know if I want to say like doctrine, but more of like expectation. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And we've got free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So whoever has been kind of feeling like they need to pace things, or they can't be honest about how they feel, is being advised to listen to their intuition, but also make sure that they're not losing out on something because they are feeling so much pressure from the expectations of others. This is the Rider-Waite, or the Waite-Smith. What else do we have? The Lovers, Knight of Swords in the reverse, and the Page of Swords. So this choice is about timing. When do I say something? I don't want to be impulsive. I want to find like the right moment. Very like Lady on the Tramp with the like spaghetti meatball thing, right? Like I have to make sure there's something like magic in the air, or I have to make sure that you know, the setting is right, or they're in the right mood. Hanged Man in the reverse, Ace of Cups, and Death in the reverse. But I have to make sure that this person's starting to feel that too. So it's almost giving, what's that movie? 10 Days to Lose a Man? I can't remember, but oh my gosh, now Kate Hudson and shirtless dude, McConaughey, I think. Yeah. They are kind of in this silly game trying to like irritate each other, right? Well, one is trying to irritate them, Kate Hudson, and then McConaughey is trying to make her fall in love or pretend like he is. I don't know. It's like enough of the pretending that you don't have emotions, or enough of, you know, making it seem more lighthearted. I think the encouraging advice here is, yeah, there's definitely some chemistry, but you're going to have to be willing to step it up and admit that you have emotions, because if you don't make an offer, if you don't tell somebody that you are starting to catch feelings, then you may miss your opportunity. Three of Wands, Six of Swords. So this is saying, yes, you do have to be vigilant. There's going to be a chance, there's going to be an opening on the highway where you have to merge, and you need to be quick about it. You need to be ready. But they're still keeping this secret. They haven't said anything yet. It's getting to be a little bit difficult though. It's like there's moments where they want to, I don't know, like push your hair out of your eyes, or compliment you on how good you look in a suit, or you know, talk about how they picture you all like growing old together on a farm. There's something here about, I have to be able to kind of like dream about these things and like notate it in my head. and share them later, because right now it's too soon. There's like too much going on, or this person may feel like I'm being like I'm exaggerating or something. All right, this is the signs of the times. What else do we have? Globe, possibility. Thinking about how maybe things could actually go pretty well, how you could have a pretty healthy or happy relationship, and maybe that it took quite a while to find somebody that would qualify. I think this is somebody appreciating how valuable their love interest is. I've gone on dates, or I've met a lot of people, I've traveled the world, and I haven't met somebody like you. So when do I tell you that that's how I feel? When do I tell you that I think you're 1 in a million or 8 billion? Whatever would be complimentary. This is the energy oracle. What else do we have? Temple path, number 12. Number 7, community. And number 9, the broken heart. There's definitely a sense of a journey. We had the globe, we had the labyrinth, which is a maze, right? And then we have a temple path. So there's either legitimate distance, you've moved or you've traveled, you've, experienced things as a result of these, of your mobility, right? But there's a group of people that have let you down, betrayed you, or made you feel like you didn't deserve love. That's why we have this "You Deserve Love" card coming out. This could be your family, this could be friends or people that you grew up with. But I think there's someone here who has seen a change, or who is about to see a positive change in their life, because they moved somewhere else, or because they let go of this community that's a little bit too much like in the past, right? It stifles their ability to change or grow as a person. This is the situations deck. What else do we have? Nightlife, gamble, take a risk, recalling, reminiscing, memories, returning, and interview. So even though I've tried to keep things kind of light and, it's like a party, let's go out and eat some food and have some drinks, the reality is all of these memories are starting to build quite the lovely photo album in my mind, and I'm trying to find the right time to have the talk and tell you that what I really want is something serious. What I really want is to know if you're falling in love too. Lockdown, mental prison, confined, projected, future, days, weeks, months, and the divine feminine. It's like, how long do I have to wait for this person to fall in love with me? I'm doing all of the right things, aren't I? Is it just because I haven't told this person that I love them? There's a lot of differing paths they're exploring, a lot of introspection, and wondering if they'll be able to keep this secret for much longer. There may have been already a moment where this person has wanted to express their feelings but struggled to say something, and maybe had to make something up on the spot, like, oh yeah, no, I saw a bluebird outside. It was really, no, you missed it, but it was really great. They're trying to work up to it, but getting a little bit hesitant or reserved. A little back and forth energy, right? What else? So we have the High Priestess in the reverse, the 10 of Cups in the reverse. Oh no. And the 8 of Cups. So here's the thing. There's something happening with regards to a location or a time. I don't know if somebody's only in a city or a country for a little while and then they have to go home. I don't know if there's only a way for you two to be together is if somebody decides that they move to a different state or a different country. but there's some timeline that somebody is concerned about because of distance. And if I tell you too soon or if I tell you too late, then I don't know how I can be by your side. King of Wands in the reverse. Ace of Swords in the reverse. And the Empress in the reverse. Again, we had that in this column at the very beginning. So they're stifling this divine feminine energy or this desire to express their emotions. But I feel like this is also in the reverse because we have somebody that is potentially not a good influence. With the King of Wands in the reverse, Ace of Swords in the reverse, I feel like either we have gossip or somebody saying, like, I don't think you should try to be with that person because they're a player or they're, you know, they've never really had a successful relationship, which is weird given their age or whatever. It's like somebody who's bad-mouthing this love interest that excuse me, that puts a little bit of a block or it's like an obstacle for them, right? I have to make sure that I talk through whatever this perceived issue is. The fact that you think that I don't want to commit to you, or the fact that maybe I don't really tend to fall in love with people. Moon in the reverse, 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. So when they come back around to confess their feelings, the immediate energy that they're greeted by is one of somebody who's a bit suspicious. I don't feel like I can trust you. I know about your history, or I talked to one of your exes, Hierophant. And you know I want a relationship, so why are you back here? I can't assume that it's because you want a relationship based on everything that I've heard. So how can I change this person's perspective? How can I make it clear that I'm not interested in sabotaging things or walking away from this divine feminine or this love interest of mine because I know there's nobody else out there like them. But it's an uphill battle. You were already fine with, kind of slow walking it, or you didn't seem to be that interested. You were trying to keep things kind of surface level. Now we have somebody that's worried, oh gosh, did I already miss my window? Is this person frustrated with me because I've taken too long? And if I tell them now that I have emotions, is it going to be assumed that it's like if I had gone and said something early on, you would have assumed I was lying. And now that I've waited too long, now you assume that I'm lying. They're like maybe a little bit overthinking it or slightly paranoid. This is the Path of Shadows. So we have the Grim Reaper. In the realm of twilight where shadows converge, the Grim Reaper's scythe guides souls to the verge. This is like, how bad do you really want this? We're going to make you really have to work for it. And I don't know if that's the energy from the love interest. Like, hey, if you really want to prove to me that you're in love, then let's see how desperate you get, or let's see how willing you are to tell me that I'm wrong or stand up and speak for yourself. But there's somebody who has impacted the confidence or the courage of this love individual. What am I calling you? You're being a little bit secretive, so we could say you're the High Priestess. This is difficult because they feel like they do have to be secretive, in part because there's somebody who doesn't approve, the Evil Queen. So we have the Gargoyle and the Evil Queen. The Gargoyle says, in stone I'm carved, let alone in the cold, always watching over, protecting stories untold. These definitely the type of energy that would struggle to express emotions, and also implies that indeed there is some sort of influential third party, possibly somebody that they grew up with or that they're related to, or an ex, that has kind of made them lean towards avoiding love or feeling like emotions are just trouble. The Evil Queen says, where love eludes, fear becomes my throne. What would a rose be without its thorns? So this could be somebody who is, like I said, a sibling or maybe even a family member, but likely a person who has had quite it's like a difficult experience in romance, in part perhaps because of their appearance or how people judge them. And it has caused them to influence this gargoyle, or, our main character here, into viewing love as not something that should be talked about, or something that is fleeting. It doesn't really ever amount to anything good. So they've had to unlearn this perspective in terms of romance and learn to feel more comfortable expressing those emotions. That's why we have this free yourself card. These religious factors were shared by this evil queen. Maybe evil is a little bit strong. Maybe queen is a bit strong. But this is an authoritative figure, someone who had some influence, and they taught this person that love was, a losing game. So we've got new love. Change for new love is on the horizon. It looks like I have been too comfortable believing the things that my family taught me, and I've missed out on opportunities. I can't help it. I find this person irresistible. I've fallen in love with them, but my family doesn't approve, or I feel like I have to follow the rules, right? I can't do what I really want to do, or I can't express how I feel. So instead, we get into this back and forth, or this pattern where we get close and then I feel like I have to pull away. We get closer and then I pull away, because then I keep feeling tempted to admit just how, much I feel for this person. They'd rather keep it a little bit mysterious. They'd rather keep it to be a little bit secretive, because they're nervous about their family. So we've got masquerade, pretending to be what you'd like in a partner and watching you. Someone has their eye on you. There could be a family member that wants to introduce you to someone else in hopes that you would date that person instead of the one that you're in love with. But this could also be someone who feels like they have to change who they are in order to win the affections of the person that they've fallen in love with. This is the Pause Tarot. Let's see what else we've got for you. Empress in the reverse, difficulty in terms of emotions. This could be a reference to that evil queen. We have seen the Empress in the reverse 3 times. And the Hanged Man and the Nine of Pentacles. Even though I did let, this Empress in the reverse influence me or guide me in terms of how I was going to approach love, or rather avoid it, I've let that delay me, or, kind of result in missing opportunities for far too long. I'm going to take a more independent approach. I'm going to, think for myself and follow my intuition or follow my heart. Hierophant in the reverse. 9 of Swords in the reverse. Even though it may be stressful for them, because with the Hierophant in the reverse, they do feel like they're rejecting some pretty major tenets, or things that they were taught from a young age. They know they're going to upset this Empress in the reverse. And 9 of Swords in the reverse is not just about their own anxiety, but the anxiety they know other people are going to feel as well, or the tension that they're going to have to deal with. So we have the Moon in the reverse. Somebody who withheld the truth to try to control the narrative. 2 of Swords in the reverse, to try to force this, what are we calling you again? High Priestess, to act the same way, to make the same decisions, to say, yeah, maybe I'll have like short flings or situationships, but I'm never going to fall in love. I'm always going to keep it short and sweet, right? So we have the Star and the 4 of Cups in the reverse. But there was no expectation from this evil queen. They never thought that the individual they raised, or this, close friend of theirs perhaps, would end up choosing their own path or listening to their intuition, realizing that what had been taught to them was not real or was exaggerated in some way to generate a particular perspective. So challenging the evil queen and deciding, you know, maybe I need to think for myself, or maybe I need to assess what I've agreed to and kind of like balance it out with the experiences that I've had and what those have taught me. So even though they felt like this was not something that they should pursue, they feel like it's too difficult to resist you. There's a new divine connection coming soon. This is interesting because this is a new love interest. They're trying to say that they are in love, even though they've been, you know, a little bit unsure on timing. But it doesn't take long before there's another connection that pops up on the horizon or the dashboard for you. So this person's right. There's a window of opportunity, and it is not a large one. We've got thirsty AF. This person may have a reputation for being thirsty. I refuse to let you be the one that got away. I feel stuck with the wrong person and situation. I think this is them saying I feel stuck because I keep choosing the path that was chosen for me by this evil queen instead of, you know, falling in love, pursuing something serious. I'm going to do anything and everything to win you back. Multiple trolls. I miss how our relationship used to be. And starseed, sent from the cosmos. You, I think, have fallen in love with this individual mostly because it has helped identify for you that there are people trying to control how you live your life and making, well, like basically calling for you to sacrifice the things that make you happy in order to make the evil queen happy. So there's inspiration or a little bit of a psst over here, right? Like you can live your life the way that you want. You just need to find a way to alter in a way that makes sense how you view the world, because somebody else's perspective is not it. It's not accurate. This is the cats rule the earth. What else do we have? Oops. King of Swords, Knight of Wands in the reverse, Queen of Swords in the reverse, and the Seven of Pentacles. Interesting to have both the King and the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords being in the reverse. This would be the evil queen trying to basically let this well, we could call them the King of Swords, but it's also the High Priestess, trying to make them realize or agree that it's, you know, love is fleeting, it's not really worth the investment, and to hold back or to not like give in and pursue something long term. Maybe they basically just advise that trusting people in general is not a good idea. We have the Tower in the reverse, Ace of Wands in the reverse, and Ace of Cups in the reverse. So now we have a change of opinion, a change of heart. I may have bought into the things that I was taught. I may have sought to emulate the person that I was raised by and had, you know, very similar relationships to them. But now that I've challenged those perceptions and, you know, had a little bit of an introspective intermission, I see that what I was really doing was denying myself opportunities to feel love or to feel safety, security, companionship, and that's not what I want to continue to do. So it's a pivot away from this avoidance. What else do we have? Seven of Wands, the Hierophant, Ten of Swords in the reverse. And the Two of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, I feel like timing is really important. I want a serious relationship, but I've been struggling to get through some of these, you know, things that had been taught to me about love that made me a little bit fearful or avoidant. And that's why I kind of stumble through my approach, or why I may kind of seem a little inconsistent or unreliable. I'm trying to figure this out on my own. So with the Three of Swords, there's definitely some fear of betrayal, probably on both sides. If I confess how I feel, are you going to break my heart? Or if I believe that you really have fallen in love, is it just going to be some trick and I'll find out that you're just playing games? So the trust isn't really there yet, and it has a lot to do with that third party, but it's not just the third party, right? The Evil Queen is likely related to them, but could be an ex. So we have the Page of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Knight of Swords. Very good. So I'm being more honest with myself. I'm kind of like pursuing a little bit of a reality check. I'm listening to my intuition and remembering that sometimes people say things that you can't necessarily take as 100% truth, right? I'm going to think for myself, and I'm going to choose the path that makes the most sense for me. I'm proud of you. Good choice. Let's get a few from the Spiritual AF deck. What else? Think twice before you give a fuck. Guess who ain't gotta explain shit to nobody? You. A lot of people will ask questions, and sometimes those questions are just geared towards getting the information that they can use against you. If you're making a change in your life that is based on a shift in perception, there's a pretty good chance that the person who taught you to think that way is not going to agree with your choices, your life. So you don't have to tell them what's going on, especially if you feel like they're blocking you from the person you're supposed to be or the path that you're supposed to be on. Courage is knowing it might hurt and doing it anyway. Stupidity is the same. That's why life is hard. So trust your intuition. It has served you well, and will continue to, but you've got to remember to focus on that intuition instead of letting other people guide you. So good luck. I believe in you. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully see you on the next live stream.